Hi, everybody. Captain Lou here with another Extravagant Few Minutes live here on the Captain Lou Sports Network on YouTube. And, of course, on our Facebook page, which is the Captain Lou Extravaganza, and on X at Real Captain Lou. We invite you to follow our pages, the Extravaganza, and, of course, follow us on X at the Real Captain Lou. But more importantly, we invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is the Captain Lou Sports Network. You get all of our great programming live and archived, including these Extravagant Few Minutes episodes, the Extravaganza with yours truly and my tag team partner, Mitch Bernstein. Mitch is going to fly solo on Wednesday night as I'm going to be away doing a hockey game with Calvin and Davenport. We also got a bonus show coming up on the Extravaganza as I'll be joined by the fellas from Michigan Sports and Entertainment. You can see them on their Facebook page, Brian Barnes and Dan Murphy. We're going to collaborate, take a look at the Lions, what they need to do in the offseason, and just how their season went. And, of course, give our picks and our look at Super Bowl 60. And, of course, the ACHA Power Play, Season 10 rolling along. We've got the road to St. Louis. We're less than 6 weeks, away from puck drop. It's coming up in the middle of March. So the road to St. Louis, the national championships. We got a great show lined up for the Power Play this coming Tuesday night. Executive Director Craig Barnett's going to join us and more. So all of that going on, and the only way to get it live and, of course, archive is by subscribing to our YouTube channel, which is the Captain Lou Sports Network. And a reminder that today's Extravagant Few Minutes episodes, as all of our programming, is brought to you by the official secondary market of the Captain Lou Sports Network, and that is SeatGeek. Use the promo code Captain Lou, and you get $20 off of your purchase. If you're going to be in downtown Detroit in a couple of hours and you want to go to the Red Wings game, go to SeatGeek. Use that promo code, and you'll get $20 off your purchase. That's Captain Lou. And if you're going to be at the Super Bowl, or if you want to go and you're going to be in Santa Clara, I know it's pricey, but hey, you can save $20 anyways by using the promo code Captain Lou. It's that simple. Any NBA game, NHL, Major League Baseball coming up real soon. Spring training pitchers and catchers report in less than 2 weeks. Go to SeatGeek. Use that promo code Captain Lou, and you get $20 off of your purchase. All right. Yesterday, the Breslin Center, Michigan State, the Wolverines able to snap that losing streak at the Breslin Center with a big win over the Spartans, 83-71. Quite the game for both teams. Michigan getting a big lead early in the first half. Michigan State spotting them that big lead, helped maybe a little bit by that penalty, that call that was reversed, if you will, the hook play that ended up being a 5-point swing that helped gain the momentum back for Michigan. They led by as many as 18 points in the first half. It wasn't just the referee call, though. Michigan just really had Michigan State on their heels in that first half. Defensively, I think Michigan State had more turnovers than made field goals in the first half. But then, of course, as Michigan State, as they always do, they're a second-half team, and they came out definitely the better team in the second half, rallied back from that deficit, took the lead at one point, but then Michigan was able to hold them off. Will Cheddar with that three-pointer to give them the lead back, and then Elliot Caggio with a couple of big buckets to help Michigan get back up by 6. You could see it. The Spartans used up all that energy to get that lead and make that big comeback from that deficit. Definitely gassed in the end. Michigan was able to take advantage of it and hang on to win that game. How about Jeremy Fears yesterday? 31 points, and he's definitely the glue for that team. He's the stud. He's the big one for Michigan State. Really showed it yesterday, and he had kind of a dumb foul in the first half with that intentional foul. But, hey, you can't take it away from him. He's definitely the stud of that team from Michigan State. Really showed it. And what about Foster? He's going to have to be inserted in the starting lineup for the Spartans off the bench. Really, really good. Liked how he played. And, of course, for Michigan, how about Yaxel Landenborg? Played like a lottery pick yesterday. Definitely the go-to guy for Michigan. And, again, I liked how Elliot Caggio played. And what about Ade Mora? He really neutralized the bigs yesterday underneath for Michigan State, Kohler and Cooper. I know Kohler had a couple of three-pointers, but, you know, Michigan, I think yesterday showed that they're just a little bit of a deeper team. But make no mistake about it, March 8th, the rematch in Ann Arbor. Michigan State's going to be ready for that one. Michigan State's going to be fine. It's just one loss. But yesterday, Michigan showed that they were the better team, the deeper team, as they were able to withstand that comeback and beat Michigan State 83-71. Now, it's funny. I still have to get used to the analytics in basketball. I'm so old school. Michigan, with the bigs that they have with Landon Borg and with Mara, I just talked about it briefly. Mara had his way really with Cooper and Kohler. He was posting up. I just don't understand why they don't take the ball to the hole, take it to the basket, relying so much on three-pointers. And, even look at Michigan State yesterday. That is definitely not their strong suit, shooting a three-pointer. And it cost them yesterday. And, Michigan could have very easily been up in that game in the first half by 25 points if they would have kept going inside to the bigs. I know it's easy for me to second guess it sitting on my couch, but I just see this analytics thing, and I don't know. I mean, they pass up so many dog shots, so many shots in the paint. Both teams, every team does. I just don't get it. I just think the high percentage shot to me is well worth it. It's much more worth the risk than taking all these three-pointers. And living and dying by the three, I don't know. Once you get to the tournament, I think it's going to benefit Michigan more by going inside, taking advantage of the big guys. And, I've seen Michigan State play this year, and they just don't have the three-point shooting prowess of some of the other teams. And I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But again, it was a great game yesterday. Michigan State winning 83-71. And as I mentioned, Jeremy Fears asserted himself to me as a leader with the Spartans yesterday. And I got to tell you, I really liked his play. I liked his moxie. He had to take over for the Spartans, and he ignited that comeback in the second half. But again, using up all that energy, all that time to get back, you could tell they were gassed in the end. Landon Borg played really well, as I mentioned, a lottery pick in my mind for Michigan. He's probably going to be done this year. Cadjo, coming over from North Carolina, asserted himself as well. Mara had his way inside. Michigan, just a little bit deeper of a team than Michigan State. We'll see if that changes on March 8th when both of these teams play. But make no mistake about it, these two teams definitely asserting themselves as two of the top teams in the country. It's going to be fun to watch them the rest of the year. And, it's funny is I've thought about this a lot, going back and forth on the end of the game with Tom Izzo walking through that handshake line. You could tell he was pissed. And I think he had a little bit of a right to be pissed. I mean, the calls obviously weren't going his way to his liking anyways. But you know what? Show me a guy who is a gracious loser, and I'll show you a guy that isn't a winner. And you know what? He shows the passion that is this Michigan State rivalry. It's great to have a coach that gets it at Michigan with Dusty May. It's refreshing. You saw him in that picture at the beginning of the show here today, sitting out before the game. I loved what he said. He said, I saw the smoke. He said, I wasn't going to turn around and run. He soaked it up. And he didn't do it in a classless way either, which it makes this rivalry a little bit more fun. But again, you could tell that Tom does not want to lose to Michigan State or to Michigan. He hates Michigan. He respects them, but he hates them. And that's what I like about this rivalry. That's what it's all about. And so I can't wait for these two teams to meet up on March the 8th. All right, speaking of a big game and speaking of a rivalry, the Detroit Red Wings and the Colorado Avalanche renew an old rivalry starting this afternoon at 1 o'clock as they play at Little Caesars Arena. It's the beginning of a home and home. They play again on Monday night in Colorado. The record right now for the Red Wings, 32-17-6. Colorado off to a monster start, although they've lost a couple of games in a row as of late, 35-8-9. That's going to be a heck of a matchup. If you like hockey, this afternoon you can channel flip the Red Wings and the Avalanche at 1 o'clock on ABC, and then you've got Michigan State and Penn State on the Big Ten Network playing in the Outdoor Classic at Beaver Stadium. That's going to be fun to watch as well. The Red Wings, they've got the start of a brutal 5-game, 8-day stretch before the Olympic break. Check it out. They play Colorado today, the first of two, in a home and home. Then they go to Colorado to play on Monday night. Then they go to Utah. Then they travel to Ottawa, and then they end up this 5-game stretch next Saturday against Carolina. You talk about a yeoman schedule in the next 8 days. 5 games in 8 days before the Olympic break. Detroit right now, second place in the Atlantic Division, a couple of points behind the Tampa Bay Lightning. The Lightning still, again, 3 games in hand on Detroit, I believe. So Detroit still sitting very well in the playoff race with about 30 games to go. But still, it's this is a huge, huge time for the Red Wings as they look to try to maintain that playoff push in the National Hockey League. Yeah, they've got 3 games on hand due to the Lightning. Detroit right now with 27 games left going into today's game. So after that stretch, they'll just have 22 games left. This is a big one for Detroit. They need to get at least 2 out of 4 points from Colorado. 3 would be ideal. Obviously, 4 would be the best, but they got to at least win one of these 2 games against Colorado. And in those other 3 games, I would say out of a possible 6 points, 4 points would be a must for the Red Wings to keep the momentum going into the Olympic break. But the Red Wings right now, as we mentioned, the first of 2 with Colorado starting today at 1 o'clock. The Pistons with a big bounce back win yesterday against the Golden State Warriors in Golden State on their road trip, losing the other Thursday night to Phoenix in a big way, bounce back with the win. 5.5 game lead in the Atlantic Division over the New York Knicks and the Boston Celtics. So that was a huge win last night for the Detroit Pistons. 35-12 right now, maintaining that cushion as we approach the trade deadline, which is coming up Thursday. I know there's been talk. There's all these rumors that Giannis wants out. They're going to try to trade him. I know the Pistons have been linked to it. I don't think there's any way that the Bucks would trade Giannis to the Pistons. Detroit does have some capital, but I'm telling you, please, please, please don't trade for Giannis. Giannis can't stay healthy. He hasn't been healthy in the last 2 years when the playoffs have started. The Pistons are going to be fine without him. The Pistons are playing real well. I expect them to make a move maybe at the deadline to try to bolster the lineup a little bit. But please, 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 I beg you, Detroit, don't trade for Giannis in that contract. I don't think it would be good for the chemistry of the Pistons. All right, that's going to do it for another Extravagant Few Minutes episode here on the Captain Lou Sports Network. Enjoy your weekend, everybody. Enjoy the games this weekend. Again, a cool college or a cool hockey doubleheader, if you will, kind of a simultaneous 1 o'clock start for the Red Wings and the Avalanche on ABC. Flip it over back and forth a little bit. Catch the Spartans and Penn State live from Beaver Stadium in the Outdoor Classic. Real interesting to see how many people they get for that game outdoors between 2 of the top teams in college hockey, Michigan State and Penn State. All right. Thanks, everybody, for welcoming us into your homes, on your computers, on your laptops, however you watched us around the world here on the Captain Lou Sports Network. Captain Lou saying, keep your heads up, keep your sticks down, keep your feet moving, and as always,